Dollar Tree has changed a lot, and if you're shopping there for your prepper pantry, you can't shop on autopilot anymore. So today, I'm taking you with me to see what's new, what's still a deal, what isn't, and then I'm going to bring a few things home to taste test. Hey guys, it's Jera with Wicked Prepared. Today, I am taking you along with me to Dollar Tree. It's been a while for me, and I'm on the hunt to see what kind of new prepper pantry items I can find. A lot has changed at Dollar Tree lately. First of all, should they even be calling themselves Dollar Tree anymore? Very little is actually $1 now. And even the $1.25 price that we had all kind of gotten used to is disappearing in some categories in some stores. And honestly, that's what makes shopping there a little tricky now. The prices aren't exactly the same everywhere, and you really do have to pay attention. At my store, I am seeing several departments where the prices have bumped up to $1.50, plus some higher priced items mixed in too. So check in down below in the comments. Are you still a Dollar Tree shopper? And if so, what prices are you seeing in your local store? Let's head to the store and see what new prepper pantry items we can find. Then I'll bring a few items home, taste test them for you, and we'll talk about what you really need to watch for when you're shopping at Dollar Tree today and whether it's still worth it for your prepper pantry. Let's head on over. Okay, I started this trip by heading straight to the food aisle because after all, I'm shopping for my prepper pantry. And this is one of the areas where my store has raised the prices up to $1.50 now. The first thing I noticed is more selection in the canned vegetable aisle. These Margaret Holmes vegetables aren't necessarily new to Dollar Tree, but in my area, I've never found a few of these varieties before, like the spinach and the cabbage. And what excites me about this is canned foods last for many years, but a lot of the typical canned veggies you can get for your prepper pantry aren't exactly packed with nutrition. Spinach and cabbage are more nutritious options, and the more nutrition we can pack into our prepper pantries, the better off we'll be. I've gotten this cabbage at Walmart before, and it's surprisingly pretty good. Also worth noting, at my Walmart, this brand of veggies are priced at $1.57 right now, so this is a slightly better deal. And I also saw a few other new choices like these beets. Right next to the veggies, I found these Spam singles. Now, Spam singles aren't exactly new to Dollar Tree, but I've never found so many varieties available here. I can sometimes get these by the case from Amazon for closer to $1 a pouch, but if you only need a couple of them, then this isn't a bad deal. I love these because it's a single serving of a protein, a meat, so they're good for packing in bug-out bags or other gear. I also found this big can of sardines. Dollar Tree has always had these smaller cans, which I can find a better deal on elsewhere, but I've never found them in a big can like this here. Sardines have been popping up everywhere because they're actually an incredibly nutritious food source for the price, and as a small fish low on the food chain, they don't have the mercury risk that some other canned fish have. Weigh in down below. Do you like sardines? And what's your favorite way to eat them if you do? I'm making a conscious effort to eat more of them, and I need all the ideas. After the canned goods, I got to the pasta and rice section, and I'm telling you, this is where I found some of the new items that I am most excited about. Like these shelf-stable tortellini. These are packaged like the gnocchi that they sell, and they're nice, big, fat tortellini. The best by date looks to be about 6 months out, but I know from experience with the gnocchi that they can go a lot longer than that. But this is a good time also to remind ourselves that there is room in the prepper pantry for shorter term foods as well. We just need to remember to rotate them more often than the longer term items. My kiddos love tortellini though, so I'm really, really excited about this. But by far the thing I was most excited to see on this whole trip is this instant rice. See, it doesn't take much to excite me. But this is like my holy grail here at Dollar Tree. Well, this and curry powder, which I've still never found, but I always wondered why Dollar Tree didn't sell instant rice, and now they do. Instant rice is really good for prepping purposes because it's already been cooked and dehydrated, so it cooks, as the name implies, almost instantly. Even just adding boiling water and letting it set is enough. So this saves time and fuel during emergencies. Now, Dollar Tree has always had the ready-to-eat rice in packs like these, and I did find a few new flavors that I've never found before to try today. And these packs can also be really great for emergencies because they don't even require water. They are fully cooked. They only need to be heated up. But the shelf life isn't as long as the regular dry or instant rice. So there's trade-offs. But I kind of believe that both have a place in the prepper pantry, so I store both. I also found a few new rice mixes, different flavors today that I've never seen here before, with this yellow rice and this New Orleans rice and beans. There were also a few new pasta items that could be good for the prepper pantry, like this Italian 5 cheese mac and cheese. We have tried this Gouda one before and it's good, but this one I've never seen before. Now, these are the premium mac and cheese, so they've got the liquid cheese packets and they don't need the milk and butter, which can be really good in emergencies. Now, the first time I saw these, I thought they were a really good deal because at Walmart, the deluxe mac and cheeses are usually around $3. But notice that these Dollar Tree ones are smaller. They're about half to 2/3 the size of the regular ones at Walmart, so the price comes out just about even. Keep in mind, though, smaller packages can sometimes be better for single people or smaller families because in an emergency, if the power's out, it's actually better not to have leftovers to think about. I also found this pizza flavored mac and cheese, so I'm going to grab a couple of these to try out. And look at this. This isn't new by any means. It has been around for a long time. Many of us remember this from our childhoods, but it can be hard to find. And I've never found it at Dollar Tree before. So I thought this was pretty darn exciting. This has spaghetti noodles and a sauce packet that you mix with tomato paste and water, or you can use tomato sauce and water to get a spaghetti meal. I mean, yes, you could just store pasta and a jar of spaghetti sauce and it would work just the same. But for a lot of us, for a lot of people, I think it's a nostalgia thing. Did you ever have this growing up? They also seem to have more varieties of the Kraft mac and cheese than they used to, but honestly, $1.50 is not a good buy for a box of regular mac and cheese. They do have this one 50% more box though, so this might be an okay deal if you really like Kraft. Now, up here on the top shelf with the potatoes, look at this. This is something new. I've never seen protein potatoes before. Boy, they're adding protein to everything these days. But everyone needs more protein in their prepper pantry, so if you can get the extra for the same price, that might be the way to go. Let's look at the comparison with the regular potatoes here. The regular have 110 calories and 2 grams of protein. And these new ones have 130 calories and 6 grams of protein. So 3 times as much protein. So honestly, in an emergency, both would be good, the extra calories and the extra protein. I'm going to grab one of these to try. Now here's something else down here, a Chef Boyardee pasta skillet meal. This says this is new. I've never seen this before. It's basically like a hamburger helper. So of course you need the hamburger to fix it. So for emergencies, you'd need some canned or freeze-dried meat, which you're definitely not going to find at Dollar Tree, but that's okay. And then here they have this Caesar flavor of Suddenly Salad, so pasta salad mix. I don't know if I've ever seen this flavor here or anywhere. But the thing you got to watch with the Suddenly Salad at Dollar Tree is this is a much smaller package than what they sell at Walmart or the grocery store. Look at it next to this other brand of pasta salad mix, which is closer to the size of the regular Suddenly Salads. So it's not really as good of a deal as it looks at first glance, but of course, like I said before, there is something to be said for smaller packages for smaller families. Now they keep adding more and more flavors of these time-wise pouches, and these are complete. They're ready to go. They only need to be heated up, which can be great for emergencies, like I mentioned. Now these two rices, these two different flavors of rice are flavors that I've never seen before, so I'm going to grab these to try. And this Alfredo pasta is not new, but my kids did like this, and they are super handy to have around for when somebody needs a quick, easy snack. And these pasta zing pouches, these are fully cooked pasta, ready to heat and eat or to add to a recipe. These don't have sauce, they're just plain pasta, but they are super handy for like really quick meals for somebody like truck drivers or college students in a dorm. Anybody who may not be able to boil a pot of water necessarily, but would be able to warm stuff up in the microwave. And this fusilli shape, this is the first time that I've seen this one here. They've had the spaghetti and the bow ties for quite a while, but this one is new here. So now I'm going to grab one of these packs of individual Olive Garden Italian dressings. I don't actually think these are new. I think I've just been kind of overlooking them, but it did just occur to me that these could be great for like small little pasta salads for like a meal in a bag or something. So I'm going to grab one of these. And I'm grabbing some more of these French fried onions too, and these are not new, but these are one of my favorite items here. I love to use them as casserole toppings and stuff like that. And this Dollar Tree bag is the perfect size to top one 9x13 casserole dish. So I use these in meals in a bag all the time. Now moving down into the condiments, there's a lot of stuff here, but not necessarily much that's new, maybe a few different flavors of things, but this is something I've never seen before at Dollar Tree, Kraft tartar sauce. I love tartar sauce. Now, this is something that they've had for a while, these little teeny seasonings. And I think they are so cute, but they always seem to have something new, a new variety, a new one. Today, it's this Buffalo Trace whiskey flavored seasoning. I've never heard of this. I gotta say, I'm tempted because I am obsessed with seasonings, but $1.50 is a lot to pay for a teeny bottle of seasoning when you can get a full size bottle of some seasonings for like about $1 at Walmart. So I guess I'm gonna pass on this one for today. But I am gonna pick up one of these cute little Cinnadust seasonings because this would be perfect for my daughter's lunchbox. So now we're on to the snacks. And this caught my eye, this box right here, quinoa bars. So not granola bars, quinoa bars. Never seen these before. I kind of think $1.50 is a little steep for 3 granola bars. Like this is a teeny light box, but it says gluten-free, egg-free. So for people who need gluten-free, it might be worth it. Too bad it's not also dairy-free, but I'm going to grab one of these so we can give them a taste. Okay, now moving on a little bit, protein shakes. These are some new ones that I haven't seen before at Dollar Tree. Protein shakes can be a good thing for the prepper pantry, extra protein, extra nutrients, or even a meal replacement if needed. The thing is that you'll get longer shelf life out of a powder than a pre-mixed drink. They've got 3 options here today. This one in the bottle is actually $2 instead of $1.50, but the 2 paper carton ones have about half the shelf life of the bottle, and they have less shake in them too. They're smaller. So I think it might be worth paying the extra for the bottle for $2. While I'm here, I'm going to pick up a few more cartons of the shelf-stable milk. Now, this is not a new item. It's definitely a staple item here at Dollar Tree, but I honestly think it's one of the best prepper pantry items that you can get at Dollar Tree. They don't stay good long past their marked best by date, which is about a year out. So you have to be vigilant about keeping them rotated, but they're great for emergencies or for just any time that you run out of milk in between your grocery trips, which helps keep them rotated. While I'm here at the milk, I did notice that they now have this brand name, Eagle brand evaporated milk. And that's one of the benefits of the higher prices is that with some products, this higher price is going to allow them to offer better quality or name brands if that's something that's important to you. Now, look at this. This is another item that I am super excited to find here today. This is something that I've not seen here, or at least not for a long time, if I ever saw it before. This Bisquick biscuit mix. And what makes this one perfect for the prepper pantry is that this one is a just add water mix. So it is perfect because you don't need any other ingredients like milk, like this other kind of mix that they've had for a while. It's all in there. And these are perfect for emergency meals. And if you just mix a tiny bit of extra water and make like a looser dough, you can actually use it to make dumplings as well. I do that all the time. And that can be a really great option if you don't have a way to bake when the power's out, because that way you can just make it right in the pot on your emergency burner with your soup or your stew or whatever you're making. In fact, this gives me an idea. So I'm going to run down and pick up a couple cans of this Campbell's sausage gravy. These Campbell's gravies, they're not new, but they're actually really tasty for a store-bought gravy. Okay, back up to the baking section. This cornbread mix is new, this brand. It's not a just add water mix, unfortunately, but my wheels are turning. So I'm going to grab one of these to test it out and see how it tastes. It's more expensive than just getting a Jiffy mix, but I think it makes a bigger batch. Now here's another kind of cool thing that I haven't seen here before. Look at this Margaritaville coconut key lime pudding mix. This sounds amazing for summer, and it's sugar-free. I must say the Snickers pudding looks amazing as well. Snickers is my favorite candy bar of all time. This one's not sugar-free though, so I think I'm going to avoid the temptation and just leave this one here on the shelf. You can see with their expanded pricing options, they do have a lot of newer items that are in these higher price ranges. Like these are all new coffee options. They're $2. They look pretty good. And these name brand olive oil products, and these are just a few examples, but there's quite a few things like this throughout the store. But I do kind of want to focus on just the $1.50 items and $1.25 items today, mostly because all the rest of it kind of gets away from the true spirit of shopping at the Dollar Tree. Now, just before heading out of the food aisle, I noticed something that I missed before, just kind of hanging out by the canned foods. These are little packets of ramen toppers. Now, this is actually pretty cool. I love Ramen Bay, And these packets, they really can't hold a candle to Ramen Bay, honestly, but just to be able to grab something like this right at the Dollar Tree, I'm going to grab a couple of these so I can check them out a little bit closer at home. And these might open up some really interesting meal in a bag possibilities with some more veggies that we can't find in the cans. So now I'm heading to the snack food aisle as opposed to the regular food aisle where I've been. And the first thing I'm noticing is that most of the things in the snack food aisle still seem to be priced at $1.25 here at my store, at least. So that's really pretty nice. Some of these Dollar Tree snacks can be really good little items to pack in like bug out bags or personal 72-hour kits or any number of places like that. And there's definitely some new items here that caught my eye, like this new brand of cashews. They've got dill flavored ones too, which I love. And Mr. Wicked Prepared was just asking for cashews too. We've been doing like a health and weight loss challenge for the last few weeks, and he has lost like 25 pounds. So he's doing awesome. And he is snacking a lot healthier for sure. So he was asking for some nuts. I also saw these, I'm not even sure what these are, Greek yogurt and granola clusters, I guess. These are new for sure. But honestly, in this aisle of the store, the new item that I am most excited about is most definitely this espresso snack mix. You know me and my coffee. And it's got nuts, which I also love. I'm going to have to try this one out. There's some other interesting new items that I've never seen before here at Dollar Tree, like these Mexican street corn nuts. I love Mexican street corn anything, although I should not be eating this, but these probably could even make a fun like garnish on top of a salad or something like that. And these peach and mango rings with tahini, these would be a really fun thing to put in the freeze dryer. And of course, this caught my eye. I am a sucker for anything patriotic. Look at this AmeriCorn. Love it. I'm going to leave this right here though. And check this out. They've changed their branding on their dips, these shelf-stable dips that they have. I actually use these sometimes in meals in a bag. These cheesy ones, they've had these before in the old brand, but this ranch is different because they used to have French onion. So this is an interesting new addition. All right, this pretty much covers the food area and the snack foods in my store, at least the new items that I found here. So I'd like to check out the first aid and personal care aisles because there's usually some really good prepping items there too, but I don't want this video to get too long. So let me know if you're interested in seeing what's new in those aisles and I'll do another video. I did find one more thing though heading out that I am pretty excited about here. It's here in the kitchen area. I found these glass food storage containers. Now, aren't these cute? Look at the different colored lids. We've been switching a lot of our food storage from plastic to glass. And I do have quite a few now, but what I don't have and what I really have been needing are smaller ones, little small containers. So these are going to be perfect. Okay, I'm going to go check out now with everything I've picked up today. I'm going to head home and I'm going to taste test some of these new items. So I'll meet you there. All right, I'm back home and here is today's haul of everything that I thought was worth bringing home. So this is everything that I picked up today. And I'm going to try some of these things out for you. Let me just go over real quick what I did grab. So I definitely picked up the rice. I did get both the bowl in the bag and the instant. I'm more excited about the instant. This is what I would use more often. I've had people say recently, well, they like to use real rice. This is real rice. It's just been cooked and then dehydrated so that it can cook more quickly when you need it in an emergency. So it's the same exact thing as white rice. It's just been pre-cooked basically. Now this is actually not a bad deal. It is 14 ounces for $1.50. Now I can get it slightly cheaper per ounce at Amazon by buying the Minute Rice brand in the big box, but it's not that much cheaper honestly. So for people who need to buy in smaller packaging, this is probably actually a really good deal for the smaller package. I did grab this Chef Boyardee skillet meal to try. It feels like a really small package, but it calls for a pound of meat. So I'm assuming it makes about as much as a hamburger helper. It says 4.5 servings. I did get a couple of the pizza mac and cheese to try. I also got the Italian 5 cheese. Definitely want to try those out. I grabbed the milk. This is just not a new product, just for my prepper pantry. I also found this. I didn't show this on video, but apricot nectar. I've been looking all over for apricot nectar specifically, and I've had a hard time finding it for years. So I couldn't believe I found it there today. But they've had these nectars before, just I haven't found the apricot one. And then a couple of these pouches of rice, because these are newer flavors in the Time Wise in this brand. So I wanted to try these and see how these taste. Sometimes these rice pouches have a weird flavor to them if you eat them by themselves. And these are ones that we would probably have as a side dish. So I want to see how they are. We use them all the time, like in burritos and under, saucy dishes and things, but on their own, it depends. I did pick up my couple cans of sausage gravy. Those aren't new. That's something I have a plan for with a meal in a bag. Also, my few bags of crispy onions. That's just something that I use regularly. I did get a couple boxes of this honey cornbread mix that I wanted to try. But in looking at it more closely here at home, I think it does make probably about the same size batch as a Jiffy Mix. So $1.50 is not actually a really great deal for that in the end. I did get a couple bags of these protein potatoes, buttery homestyle. I'm assuming they taste just the same as regular mashed potatoes. They just have the extra protein, but I did want to try them out. And of course, my Alfredo pasta pouch. This is not new. This is just something I wanted a little more of. Did get some of these buttermilk, just add water biscuit mixes for meals in a bag. I did grab one of these, two of these tortellinis because I'm really excited to try these. These will make great meals in a bag as well. I got a few of the glass food storage containers. Look at how cute these are. Look at the colors of the lids. This is super cute. So they had a more rectangular one. It says it is 12.5 ounces. And they had a more square shaped one. This one says it is 10.8 ounces. So these are small little containers. I think they're going to be great for small bits of leftovers and things like that. I grabbed one of these fusilli pasta pouches just because we don't have this shape. We do have quite a few of these. They're great for preparedness as long as you don't keep them around too long. You know, they'll definitely last, you know, a year or two for sure, but you want to rotate them through. But my kids will grab one of these when they need a really quick snack. Just throw some sauce on it. You know, if they need something and they don't have time to cook a pot of pasta. So I do like to keep these on hand. And then we also have them for emergencies. I did grab the tartar sauce. Thought that was a cool thing to find at Dollar Tree. I did get a mayo. This is not new at all, but these little 8-ounce containers, like 1 cup of mayo, can be really handy for meals in a bag when you might need exactly 1 cup of mayo and you don't want to have any left over. Got these sardines, 1 can of these. I'm still got to figure out how I'm going to work these into my diet, but we'll see how these are. A few of the snacks. So I did grab one of the granola bites to try. This espresso mix I'm super excited about. This I got for my daughter to use in her lunchbox. These will probably be used in a meal in a bag to have a dessert. I did get a couple of these salsas. These are kind of new, but not really new. This is just a new variety of salsa they've had for a while. But these, once again, it's a 7-ounce container. It's about a cup of salsa. Really handy for meals in a bag for recipes. One of the new ranch dips. And then I grabbed a couple of these ramen choppers and the dill cashews, and then one of each flavor of the Spam singles that they had there, except for the regular, because I already have plenty of those, but I think I also have some of the light and the bacon flavored. I'm having a little buyer's remorse because a few of the things I bought today, I have the same thing already that I probably got a better deal on, and I was just kind of excited to show you guys, so I grabbed them. And then finally, I didn't show these on video because these were just at the register as I was checking out, and these aren't new, the little hand sanitizer sprays, but this is a few different colors and scents that I hadn't seen before. They're pretty new to my store. And I hadn't seen these pens, the hand sanitizer pens before. So I think these are pretty nifty because it's a fun way to have to always be able to have hand sanitizer with you because it's so small. And these sound good. Palm sugar, pineapple, and tropical burst scent. I did want to show you a couple things on the receipt real quick. The couple things I really noticed. Number one, you see the whole milk here. So the whole milk, the Dollar Tree milks are still $1.25, which is good to know because they were in the food aisle where everything seems to be $1.50. And my store clerk told me that everything in that food aisle had gone to $1.50. So the milk still being $1.25 is really great because honestly, right where I live, the regular gallon of milk in the Great Value store brand has gone up to about $5, which makes these quarts basically the same price. And so I might just start using these all the time because they're smaller, so I don't have to worry about how quickly we use them up. I don't have to worry about the last few bits going bad. And they also fit in the fridge better. They're a nice small square package, and it would keep my stock rotated without having to worry about it. So that's pretty good. The only other thing I noticed is that, yes, the snack items in the snack aisle and like the hand sanitizers, those kind of little goods are all $1.25 instead of $1.50, which is just what I thought. So that's just a couple things I wanted to point out there. I was really excited, though, to see about the milk. So now I want to get started on taste testing some of these things, just a few. Now, I want to try these mac and cheeses. So I want to try the pizza and the Italian 5-cheese mac and cheese. And these have to cook. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get started on cooking, one or both of these. And then I'm going to try some of these sort of snackier things that don't need to be cooked. So let's get going. So really quickly, while my water's coming to a boil, I'm just going to open these up and just check, because I know I've had pizza flavored mac and cheeses before, and I was kind of surprised to find that it wasn't like a pizza flavored cheese sauce pouch. It was a regular mac and cheese with a little pizza seasoning pouch that you added. So I just want to see how this one is. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because then if you don't want the pizza flavor, you just have plain mac and cheese. So here's the pasta. Let's see if I can find the pouch. So it seems to be just the one seasoning packet. So it must be a pizza flavored cheese seasoning, cheese sauce mix. So that's interesting. And then of course this one has got the liquid cheese packet. All right, so let's get cooking on these. And while those are cooking, I've got a few things I do want to try out. So I'm going to try out these quinoa bars. I'm going to try out these granola bites. Definitely want to try out the espresso snack mix. Where'd that go? Where's my nuts? And these dill cashews. And then I'm going to open this up and check it out. I won't actually use it today in some ramen, but I just want to look a little bit more closely at what's in this. All right, so let's check out these bars. Now you can see this is a really teeny and really light box. So there's not much to these bars for $1.50. There's only 83 calories per bar. So I don't really have high hopes for these. It's just really for, you know, the idea of some people need to have gluten-free or maybe egg-free. They do look like they're well wrapped. When I find things in these Mylar type of bags, they usually last a lot longer, like the Dollar Tree crackers, saltines that come in these type of bags inside the box. They last a lot longer than the other type in the waxy bags. So let's see what this looks like. That's interesting. I don't think it looks quite as good as what it does on the package, but that's probably to be expected. I'm just going to break off a little piece. Does this have nuts? May contain traces of soy and peanuts. It doesn't look like it has nuts as an ingredient, but it's not nut-free for people who can't have nuts. It does actually smell really good though. I'm going to go ahead and put everything on this plate, get it all ready, and try it kind of all at once. So I'm going to open up these next berry nuts crunchy clusters, Greek yogurt, flavored coating, crunchy granola clusters. Well, these actually smell pretty good too. And they're fairly large clusters in there actually. I'm going to take out a small, like a broken one, because I don't want to eat a huge piece. But this is a good size bag. There's quite a lot of these clusters in here. It does say about 2.5 servings per container. So this would be something to share. But if you were in an emergency situation, you might be extra hungry and need extra kind of calories and nutrition. So I could definitely see an average adult finishing this whole bag in one sitting. It could be like a whole breakfast too, if you think about it. All right, now I'm going to open up this espresso snack mix to try. I'm excited about this. It's got some nuts. It says cashews, almonds, peanuts, the chocolate covered coffee beans, I guess, and it says coffee pearls. So I don't really know what that is. Let's see. And this actually, so it's 2 servings per container, and each serving has 8 grams of carbs and 2 grams of fiber. So 6 grams of net carbs. So it's actually not bad. This is one I actually probably would eat, you know, regularly. I would have to, you know, limit myself to 1 serving, but this is actually not that bad. So let's see if we can get a little bit of everything. I think I have everything. I'm assuming this is the chocolate covered coffee bean, and this is the coffee cluster, or coffee pearl. And now I'm going to open up the dill cashews. Now I actually buy dill pickle cashews that are, I think they're Planters brand, and I really, really like them. So, although I'm looking at these and it doesn't look too promising. I didn't realize you could see through the bag. I see a lot of crumbles, and it looks like they actually have a coating on them that's maybe not just seasonings. So I don't know. There's 18 grams of carbs in 1 serving. There's 2 servings per container. 18 grams of carbs, less than 1 gram of fiber. So I think these, I'm going to give them a try, but I think they are not going to be all that I hoped they would be. Because the ones that I get that I like are not really coated. They're just seasoned. And I think that coating is what's adding all those carbs. You can see it's kind of like a thick coating, almost like you would see on like a honey roasted peanut or something. So it's not exactly what I was expecting, but we'll give them a try. They actually smell really good. All right, so I'm going to try my little snack plate here. So I'm going to start with one of the dill cashews because I want to start with the salty. It's actually pretty good, but it's a sweet dill flavor. So it's definitely like a sweet coating that's got the dill flavor in it, almost like a honey roasted peanut. I would eat those if I didn't have to worry about carbs. It's not bad tasting, but it's a little different than what I expected. I didn't expect the sweetness, but it definitely has a dill flavor. And it's pretty tasty. If you don't have to worry about your sugar and your carbs, I think that's a tasty snack. All right, next I'm going to go with the espresso snack mix. So I guess I could try it all together, but I'm going to try each piece by itself. So this, let's see, I think this is the chocolate covered coffee bean. It does. It's got a lot more thick chocolate coating and less coffee bean than you typically would get. And it's like a little bit of a soft, like creamy chocolate. And it is a little salty too. So there must be salt on the nuts that's rubbing off on this, but it was pretty good. Or maybe that one's covered coffee bean. I'm not sure. They both had that crunchy coffee bean center, small, but there. And that tasted really good, actually. And so then the nuts. Just salted nuts. All that tasted good on its own. I'm still not sure which piece the brown piece is and which piece the lighter piece is, but I'm going to try now. I've got one piece of each nut and each flavor. I'm going to eat them all together for the real true effect. That's really tasty. It's kind of got the sweet and salty thing going on, and it's not super strong coffee. Like if you're afraid of the whole coffee bean thing, it's very little pieces. It's not super strongly coffee flavored, but the coffee flavor's there, and it's got that sweet salty. I actually really like that, especially knowing that the net carbs are pretty low. I would actually buy that and carry that and eat that. Very good. All right, next I'm going to try the little granola bite, the yogurt granola bite. That's really good. It's really sweet. It's quite sweet. I don't like things too sweet, so it must not be that sweet, but it's pretty sweet. But it's really tasty. If I didn't have to worry about carbs, sugars, any of that stuff, I would totally eat that. I think that would be a great little portable breakfast item. Like I would throw that in a 72-hour kit for a breakfast. It's really, really tasty. Actually, you can feel the granola in there. It's really yummy. All right, so now I'm going to try this quinoa bar. It doesn't taste like much. Have a palate cleansing sip of coffee. It doesn't taste bad, but it just doesn't taste like much. It's not super sweet. It's got the texture of like a Rice Krispie treat pretty much. It's very light and airy. It's got a little bit of flavor. It's not bad. Like I said, if you had to have gluten-free, but it's just not super chocolatey, not super flavorful. It's nothing to write home about. All right, I just want to show, this is the pizza mac and cheese. I'm going to show you mixing this up so you can see how the sauce mix is. I generally don't ever measure my, milk and butter and ingredients when I'm making box mac and cheese, but when I'm testing a recipe, or not a recipe, but testing a product, I do like to follow their instructions. Because if it doesn't come out well, I want to make sure I know that that's because of the product and not because of my not following their instructions. So it called for 3 tablespoons of butter and about 1/3 of a cup of milk. So that's what I've got. And this is the cheese sauce packet. It does have kind of a good, yummy, like pizza-ish smell. You can see it's not just cheese like in like a regular mac and cheese. So let's give this a try. I'm not opposed to adding a tiny bit more milk if I feel like I need it, but I just didn't want to drown it out and make it runny. This is what they called for. It looks like it's going to be pretty good. Sometimes if I can't get that cheese sauce to really dissolve, it just needs a little bit more milk. But we're going to go with this, which is how they called for it to be done. It actually looks and smells pretty good. The one thing I will say is no matter how good it is $1.50 for a basically craft size box of mac and cheese, which is pretty spendy. But if it's a specialty flavor and you really like it, it might be worth it. All right, trying the pizza mac and cheese. It smells really good. That actually tastes pretty good. It's not super strongly flavored, but it tastes like pizza-ish. A little sweet. I don't know. It could be a little more strongly flavored, but I think it's decent. I think it's pretty good. It's definitely not bad. That's definitely very edible. I kind of like that. All right, while that other macaroni is cooking, I want to check out this ramen topper and just see a little bit more about what this is like on the inside. All veggies. There's no seasonings, no preservatives, no MSG. Let's see what it's got in it. So it's got cabbage, carrots, corn, green peas, and green onions. So that sounds like a pretty good little mix. I've got a plate here that I'm going to use to pour this out onto so we can just check it out a little more closely. That's actually quite a good amount of veggie here. You can't really tell, but this is a good amount of veggie, I think, for $1.50, especially when you consider the different variety. You're getting some cabbage, some carrots, really good. Now, it looks like these peas and corn are freeze-dried, because if they were dehydrated, they would be all shrivelly and they would be really, really hard. They'd break a tooth if you tried to bite them, and they'd take quite a long time to soak to come back to life, and they'd never quite really come back. So freeze-dried is actually really good. The other things, the cabbage and the carrots, are definitely dehydrated, but they're such skinny, small pieces that's fine. They'll come back pretty easily in the water. One thing I notice is that the peas are pretty faded in color. That's one reason I'm always telling people to put their meals in a jar in a dark cabinet. Keep the light off of your freeze-dried food, because the light can fade the color out of your freeze-dried and dehydrated fruits and vegetables, and it's going to be fading the nutrition at the same time. You can see the inside of this pea is a little bit more green than the outside, so that's good, and everything else seems to be looking pretty good. Now, I love dried ramen toppings. Like, I love ramen bay, and this is not going to really be anything like ramen bay because it's pretty limited, but to find this for $1.50 right at the Dollar Tree, I think that's a really kind of a good deal. This would be a really great addition, not just to ramen, but to a lot of different dishes. Like even that macaroni and cheese, I could throw these veggies in at the very last minute of it cooking, or even just right after it's drained, and put a lot of extra nutrition into that macaroni or any dish that you're making. One thing I will say, I should point out, looking at this, so it does say a product of China. Now, this is a ramen product, so I guess that shouldn't be a huge surprise, but I know a lot of people try to avoid that. Some people try to avoid that. I did look it up, and the ramen bay that I usually get is completely made in the United States. Like, it's a small business. It's manufactured, he freeze dries and puts everything together in the United States. So if, you don't like things from China, that might be something to look at. I'll put a link down below. I might even have a discount code. I will say that, with the Dollar Tree, that's kind of a risk you're taking with a lot of things at Dollar Tree, especially things like their freeze-dried products and stuff. So, some people are bothered by that and some people aren't. So I just wanted to point that out. Now, to put this away, I thought the perfect thing would be one of these little glass containers. So let's take a look at these. So you can see they've got a nice protective film on the inside and the outside of the lids. Not really sure why it actually needs that, but it has it, and that comes right off. You can see there's a nice rubbery gasket here that gives it a nice seal. Let's see how these clasps work. Super nice. So I've got one here. Let's see, where is it? That I already washed and dried. So I'm going to use this one to put away my my ramen veggies here, my little ramen toppers. So this is the perfect use for these little teeny containers. I love that these are glass. They're glass on the bottom. The top is plastic, but that's mostly not going to be touching your food. So it's really difficult to find a glass top on a container, but glass bottom is what we've been looking for. Now I'm wondering, let me look at this. I'm wondering if these are, because of the glass bottom, if they're oven safe. So it says, let's see, microwave, freezer, and dishwasher safe. It does not say oven safe, but here it says that it's safe up to 572 degrees Fahrenheit. So to me, that seems like it would be fine in the oven. I'm one to push limits. I'll probably test it out, try baking something in the oven. This is a really thick glass. It feels really thick and strong. I don't know why it wouldn't be okay in the oven where it says 572 degrees. So we shall see. But these can be really great dishes like these for baking, like little individual casserole dishes, little individual desserts and things. I have made lots of little sort of individual casseroles for one that I will bake in dishes like these. So I'll probably give it a try, but I should definitely say that is an off-label use. All right, so here is the Italian, the deluxe mac and cheese one. And here's our cheese packet. Let's get this in there. That is the beauty of this type of mac and cheese when it comes to prepping, is that you don't need milk and butter. There are things you can use for the others in a pinch. There's obviously powdered milk and powdered butter. You can use something like some media crema. There's lots of different things, but if you don't put anything in and you just try to do it with water, it's not going to be very good. These are meant to have nothing, so you don't need anything else. Downside is these cheese packets tend to not last as long as the powders. And the other thing is some people don't really care for the taste and texture that these liquid cheese packets have. And I'm one of those people, but I find that like in the different variations, like the fancier flavor variations, it tends to be better. Something like this Italian 5 cheese or the Gouda or there's lots of different varieties if you shop around. So let's just get this mixed so we can give it a try. Sure smells good. All right, time to taste this Italian 5 cheese deluxe mac and cheese. That's really good. That's got a really good flavor. It's got a nice, strong, cheesy flavor, almost like it's got some like Parmesan in there. That's probably the Italian part of it. Gives it a nice, strong, cheesy flavor. I wasn't sure about that one. I thought it might be kind of bland because it's just like white cheese, but it's actually really tasty. That's a pretty good one. However, deal-wise, I was checking out Walmart, and right now, like even their name brand deluxe mac and cheeses are marked down to like $2.49 around, I think, instead of $3. And the store brand looks to be about $1.48, so even cheaper than the Dollar Tree. The Dollar Tree's 8 ounces, I think. The ones at Walmart are like 12 ounces. So this one's not a great deal, but if Dollar Tree is the only store you have, then it's actually really a tasty option. If there's anything else here that you wanted to see tasted that I didn't get to today, let me know down in the comments. Maybe I can put it in a short, but also keep an eye out because you might be seeing some of these things in some upcoming Dollar Tree meal in a bag videos. The moral of the story today, you need to be vigilant shopping at Dollar Tree these days, but that doesn't mean that we need to ditch them altogether. After all, for some people, it might be one of the only options that they have accessible to them. We always had to watch pricing at Dollar Tree, and we had to know what we could get things for at other stores. That hasn't changed. Even when everything was $1, that still didn't mean that it was automatically a good deal. Some things were, and some things weren't, and that probably hasn't changed. And double checking the price on every item we pick up, it shouldn't be a deal breaker. After all, we do that at all the other stores we shop at, right? And when you really think about it, price hikes were going to kind of be necessary and inevitable. Prices have gone up everywhere on everything. There's no getting away from that fact. So if Dollar Tree didn't raise the prices a little bit to keep up, then the only other option would have been to lower the quality of what they offered, and that probably wouldn't have been a great option either. So we just need to retrain our brains to check every price, know your price points, and how much you typically pay for things. Your smartphone is a great tool to be able to check prices at other stores in real time as you're standing in the aisles of the Dollar Tree or any other store for that matter. And weigh all the costs. Some people would rather pay a few extra cents here and there than to have to visit multiple stores or to head into a giant supercenter. Since sometimes the gas or the time to visit multiple stores might not be worth the cost savings. That is something that we kind of all have to decide for ourselves. Let me know down below what things interested you most from today's video, which new items, what your favorite things are to pick up at Dollar Tree, and what you won't buy there anymore. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, leave me a tree emoji down in the comments. And if you're looking for some ways to use those Dollar Tree Prepper Pantry items, check out this video right up here next. I'm Jera with Wicked Prepared. Survive today, thrive tomorrow. We'll see you next time.